Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. I am Maria Cribbs.
And I'm Josh Cribbs.
And welcome to another beautiful day. Josh, it's
Welcome.
cold outside.
It's cold.
Get your heaters out, y'all. It's changing. The weather's changing.
It's not cold because it's cold outside. It's cold because the Browns lost.
Is that what it is? It's a little gloomy in the city right now, right? But it was a beautiful game. It was a beautiful game.
It was a beautiful
day for a game. It wasn't a beautiful game, no.
game.
But it was a Legends. It was a special weekend.
Yeah, special weekend. I want to start off with some positivity. We have the great, I would say, Jim Donovan. The only player, the only non-player selected, inducted into the Legends, along with Old Faithful, Phil Dawson.
Phil Dawson, baby.
It was a great Legends weekend, minus the Browns loss. So the Browns did something different. We had a flag football game. Well deserved for those guys. I was so honored to be a part of Phil Dawson going in and Jim Donovan. Prayers go out to Jim Donovan as he's settling in for a big fight. But we had a flag football game
during halftime. Did y'all see Josh out there during halftime?
Yeah, and that's myself in the middle, Brett Ratliff, John Hughes, Darius Hillary, and LaCharles Bentley. Yeah, and we were supposed to have more guys on there, and we won.
Versus Joe Hayden's team.
Yeah, and we battled Joe Hayden's team, and we won.
Yeah.
I was so tired and exhausted, I couldn't even stand up for my picture. I was taking a knee. I was exhausted. I'm still sore, and it's Tuesday.
Y'all played for about 5 minutes, Josh. You exhausted?
It was more than 5 minutes. It was the whole halftime.
20 yards? Was it 20 yards?
It was 20 yards, but I was running back and forth across the field because Andrew Hawkins had cleats on, and he still can play.
He wore cleats?
He wore cleats, and he still can play. I'm like, why aren't you in a uniform?
He got a little bruise on the side of his cheek. What happened? Let him know.
Because Andrew, he could play defense. He tried to knock me out. They got him for targeting. We ran into each other, knocked each other out. But I did have a highlight of the game, and my team won. Roll that footage of the highlight. You see your boy right there. We ran a cross play in the end zone to pass up to Cribbs, and he scores. And the crowd went wild. Everybody who didn't go to the concession stand
got to witness your greatness once again, right?
And I'm still sore from it.
Josh, I knew when you fell down on that knee, I was like, oh, he gonna be out for about 2 weeks off of that one. And I was in the suite when all the guys coming up talking about how sore they was. I'm like, y'all, what was it? 20 yards, and then Norwood.
It felt like a whole game.
Jordan Norwood was extra 10 plus the end zone. I said, 30 yards. Y'all so exhausted, right?
Yes.
But it was a great time. I want to say this, though, Josh. Why were you not at quarterback?
Because Brett, he actually played quarterback for the Browns. And,
okay.
I wanted to play quarterback so I wouldn't have to run around, but I relinquished the duties to an actual real quarterback who played it full time.
All right.
Shout out to Phil Dawson going into the Legends.
Amazing.
And the great Jim Donovan.
Now, that was the great part of Sunday afternoon when we come back and we talk about the loss.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it, and we got guys we're interviewing. Yeah. Some Browns legends.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. Now, Josh, we got a very special guest ready to be plugged into the show. Now, we need his expertise.
Absolutely. Browns legend. We welcome Browns legend to the show. Former running back, wide receiver, return man extraordinaire, Eric Metcalf. Welcome to the show. What's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
What's going on? Thanks for having me, y'all.
Now, how you look at that smile? He got that $1 billion smile right there, man.
Hold on, first.
Oh, sorry.
We all recognize you as a Browns. What's that hat you got on there?
What is that?
Right. It's a Longhorn. Right now the #1 team in the nation.
Oh.
The Texas Longhorns?
Got the brown on brown Texas Longhorn. Okay. I understand it.
He's still representing.
I got to represent. They winning right now.
Oh,
they're winning right now, so I got to go with them.
Is that shots fired already?
He said I would have my brown and orange on, but
yeah, exactly. But let's hop into it though. So Eric, what's going on with the team, man? Make it make sense. When you're looking at that game, we started out tremendously.
Right. Touchdown,
turnover. We on the ball 7-0. What happens from there? What's your take from this game?
I just think, like we had talked about it earlier, it's one of those games that we need to be physical with the Giants. At the point of attack, the Giants were more physical, especially when we were on offense. Deshaun was scrambling for his life, didn't have much time. We only ran the ball 18 times, around 18 times. That's including the quarterback. And so when you look at what happened the previous week, they ran for 205 yards against the Giants. We didn't even attempt to do that. And so when I look at this team right now, offensively, I'm like, who are we? We've been going through this year after year. What is our identity? Are we going to run the ball or are we going to pass the ball? I think right now it's very difficult to throw the ball when you got 4 offensive linemen out. So you better establish the run with these big power guys, and then the play action works. But the play action doesn't work if you're not even attempting to run the ball.
Right. Now, you said something real specific there. Our identity. And Maria and Ryan, the way we find our identity, it's established not by our team, by our coaches. Would you say, like, our coaches have to make a point to say, you know what, they have to outline, this is what we're going to do. This is who we're going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, we brought on Ken Dorsey as a offensive coordinator. We know Coach Kevin Stefanski is still the play caller. But are we seeing yet the introduction of Ken Dorsey's ability at all on this offense? And is it working or helping us? Do you like, what is your take on that?
We're seeing it because, like, last week you saw a lot of pre-snap motion. You see these guys spread out, running all over the place, screens and what have you. But we're seeing it in spurts. Right. One play will come out and we'll run the ball, or one series will come out and we'll run it every play, and then next 10 series we'll throw the ball every play. And so we're treating everything like we're behind. I don't know if we have gotten to a groove where we know we are. The old San Francisco 49ers with Bill Walsh. They ran what they ran, and Bill Walsh would say, they got to stop us, and if they do, then we make adjustments. Right. We're not doing that yet. We're gonna go off the script for the first 15, and then after that, it's like, closing our eyes and run that. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening.
Eric, I got to ask you, I'm going to flip it over on defense right now. I mean, just compared to last season, at home, we were one of the most dominant defenses, best in the league in some metrics, a lot of metrics, actually. Just 3 weeks in, 0-2 at home, and we've seen the defense play well in halves. The second half of the Giants game was good. The second half of the Cowboys game wasn't bad. What do you attribute this to, this slow start, the first half? We're giving up big chunks. We're missing assignments. It seems like miscommunication between the DBs a lot of the times. What do you attribute that to, the difference between why we were so dominant last year and why we're getting off to a slow start?
I think it's a few things. I mean, first of all, when you playing these other teams, they're professionals also. So they're doing a great job of scheming against this defense that is very aggressive. You saw the Giants. They knew the Browns were very aggressive, especially at the defensive end position, and they're just slow screening these guys. They're letting them run up the field, run out, and then running screens. And they did a lot of it and picked up a lot of yards doing that. So I think teams are, like I said, scheming well against us and using our aggression against us. But at the same time, I think because this is the second year with Schwartz, they were saying now he can start implementing new things, right? When they were kept it very vanilla last year, they're just going out there, he'd call a call, they make plays, and just play football. This year, there's more stuff. And so because these guys haven't played and didn't play in preseason, and there's more stuff to know against these offenses with vast offenses, right? It's hard to be prepared for everything. And so sometimes guys forget out there in the heat of the moment.
When it comes to, you spoke on offense. Now, Josh and I, we were at the game. Is it Deshaun's fault? Because we heard the boos. Right. Is it Deshaun's fault that he keeps getting sacked like that? Like, what's up with our offense?
The hate is unfair. The booing and all that to me is unfair. I'm a Deshaun Watson fan. Mm-hmm. Granted, we have seen times where he hasn't thrown the ball well. We've seen times where guys are open, run down the field, and we thought he should have hit him. But at the same time, we got to think about it. Josh knows, because Josh played quarterback. When you step back there and these guys are coming, that clock seems to be moving a little faster than what it might really be happening to. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting back there, and he might have time, but a lot of times he doesn't think that he has time. And so I think that's throwing off their timing, and he's not able to see the field like he wants to see him. And so it goes back to why are we play actioning when we haven't been running the ball.
Right. You're not fooling nobody.
Let's just drop back there, let him see it, and throw it. Let's make it all timing. If it has to be guys catch the ball at 3-4 yards and run 60 yards, that's okay.
Right.
It's okay. There's nothing against that, right? We can do that all day, but I think it's more like we want to play action, these slow developing routes, and these defensive ends have their ears pinned back, are just running up the field and attacking them.
So I'm gonna just flat out ask you, and I'm gonna ask, and we're gonna talk about it as a group too.
I think you about to ask what I was about to ask.
You know, what in your mind right now? What is the Browns' biggest problem that they need to fix? If they could just fix one problem that will set us on our path back on track, what would it be for you?
For me, it'd be continuity on the offensive line. Because I think while I don't always agree with the play calling, I think the offensive line, because of all these injuries, guys in and out, it doesn't allow you to do all the things that you might want to do.
Right.
You weren't going to ask what I was going to ask. What I was going to ask was it wrong for us to assume, because you brought up the defense a little bit, was it wrong for us to assume, because our defense was number one last season, was it wrong for us to automatically assume we was going to be on fire this season? Because I feel like our defense
is back too.
Yeah. Were we wrong to assume? I'm like, we're going to have defense on lock.
Right.
Our defense needs some help.
Well, I'm wrong also. Because I assumed all that.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
And I think, when you talk about, and Josh has asked, is this defense still elite? I say they have elite players.
Right.
Now, as a team, they're not elite right now, but they have elite players who can become an elite defense.
Become elite defense.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, we got the Raiders coming up. In your opinion, because I don't feel like, our identity will be solved in just a few days.
Is it hard to have an identity when the head coach is calling the plays? Like, as players, what do y'all prefer? Do y'all prefer the head coach to sit back and just do the head coach
if
delegation,
he's doing
or do you
good, go ahead.
I prefer the plays that work.
Right.
No matter who calls them.
So if it's working, you can't really say anything. And there's only a few coaches in this league who are really good at being a head coach and play caller. And so I'm not against it. I just know that right now the offense doesn't have an identity, and so it makes it hard to accept that he's doing it and we're not winning.
Got it. I'm sorry. Back to Raiders.
No, you good. We're trying to get back on track.
Yeah.
The Raiders, we go out to Vegas. We got the Raiders. In your mind, in your envision, are we able to still be the favorites for this game? Or is it going to be an any given Sunday? Seeing what we fixed, is this a must win? What is your projections for the Raiders game, Raiders-Browns?
Oh, this is a must win for sure. Because you lose this game, you go 1-3, and with the chance of, say, Pittsburgh beating Indianapolis this week and them being 4-0. So it's a must win in that regards. I think also in the confidence of a team, because 2-2 looks a lot better than 1-3.
Absolutely.
You're going into Las Vegas to play a team who their head coach just said, well, guys were out there making business decisions, and they're going to make business decisions regarding those guys. They're in disarray as well. And so now we have the better team overall on paper. I think we got to take it out there and just punch them in the mouth and do our thing.
That's something Eric said. We got to go out there and punch him in the mouth.
Punch him in the mouth.
That's different than going. I
prefer a throat punch.
A throat punch.
I like a throat punch.
I'm with that too.
Okay, well, either one.
However it's going to be, it got to be a solid punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more so than a punch, a chop.
Yes.
There you go.
Come on.
Chop to the throat.
Let's ask that thing.
Browns legend.
Yes.
Browns legend. Thank you for stopping by. Eric Metcalf,
by the show.
Thank you for joining the show. We appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we got more Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to the show. It's time for Keys of the Game, your key takeaways. And this segment is brought to you by our friends at Affinity Whole Health. Now, Affinity Whole Health offers personalized treatment plans to help people feel better. Whether you're struggling with weight loss, low energy, muscle loss, poor sleep, they can help with it all. Affinity Whole Health provides expert guidance and support to help you safely reach your health goals. And they really have Ohio covered with locations in Cleveland and Columbus. So don't wait any longer. set up your free consultation by going to affinityWholeHealth.com. That's affinityWholeHealth.com.
Okay.
All right now.
All right, the key takeaways from this loss, and it was a terrible loss for us. A home game. Browns are 0-2. We have offensive line. I think it was just horrible offensive line play. I'm really big on DeJuan Jones. I just don't understand sometimes how can we go from the best to the worst. So our offensive line just they're not healthy. Even DeJuan Jones, the way he kicked back in his slides, I felt he didn't look healthy. When you look at our whole offensive line, Jedrick Wills, I don't think he was healthy. I just don't think these guys were ready to play. But more importantly, they didn't look healthy, because a healthy DeJuan Jones wouldn't look like that. In my opinion, a healthy Jedrick Wills wouldn't look like that. So our old offensive line, I know Andrew Berry right now, he is on the phone. They're bringing guys in. We might need to have some trades in the work, but that offensive line needs adjusted. Let's move on to number 2 keys of the game. Coaching. We've been here before. Our coaching. I put down here offensive line, because even though we didn't have an offensive line, coaching comes through when we show adaptability. Things are going to happen. So when things happen, far as injury, the guy's not being healthy, we have to switch it up, and we have to do it quick, fast. And our 2-time Coach of the Year recipient has to make that happen. So Kevin Stefanski, he's good at taking accountability, so we don't have any problems with him taking accountability. And then number 3, let's go to it. Defense. I believe our defense is elite. They are an elite bunch of guys, individuals. And we talked to Eric Metcalf, and he reconfirmed it. They are an elite group of guys. Denzel Ward, Emerson, Newsome, JOK, Myles Garrett. These guys are elite, but right now they're just not playing like it. And that right now they're average at best. You look at Brown, I have them in my fantasy. I know these guys are elite. I believe in them wholeheartedly. They're still in my fantasy. So I want them to get it together, because when all else fails, our defense should be able to keep us in these games regardless. Ryan, take it away. I'm upset.
I'm upset, Josh, believe me, but my 3 key takeaways, I'll start with. 1 was the lack of adjustments, and this is on both sides of the ball. Offensively, right? I mean, they blitzed over 50% of the time, yet we did not see screenplays. We didn't see quick over-the-middle routes. Scheme somebody open over the middle of the route. That first drive against the Jaguars, you got Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy involved early. We didn't see any of that throughout this whole entire game. On the defensive side of the ball, Malik Neighbors starting against MJ Emerson, I understand, but as soon as you saw it was going bad, that needed to stop immediately. He was cooking MJ Emerson, which isn't often, right? We didn't see that happen last year. Hasn't gotten off to a great start, but that had to stop. They shaded Greg Newsome over there as well. That didn't work. The only time it worked was when you put Denzel Ward on him, and that's why that'll be my 3rd key when I get there. 2nd key, take what the defense gives you, right? This is about Deshaun Watson. Too many times he's focused down the field when all you'd have to do is hit your check down, hit your quick routes, right? If they're blitzing you, just get the ball out quick and let the offense flow. Too many times I felt, though, his eyes were locked downfield. He wasn't reading the defenses, and he wasn't taking what they were giving him. Number 3, Denzel Ward, right? I talked about MJ Emerson didn't have a great game. Greg Newsome didn't have a great game, but Denzel Ward proved again that when he is on the field, he's a complete field eraser. He's playing right now like a top 3 corner, like I know he is, and anytime he's lined up against somebody, they are virtually erased. He was amazing against Malik Neighbors. He's been amazing all season, and he's going to have to keep up being amazing if the defense wants to get back to that elite status.
And you know what? Your number 2, take what the defense gives you. That's like something that's echoed around the league. I say that to my son. He's a quarterback at the youth level. Well, now in high school. But take what the defense gives you. You hear it often, over and over, from head coaches all the way to offensive coordinators. Take what the defense gives you.
All right, now with that, that's your key takeaways from Josh and Ryan. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. Now, when it comes to our brownies, we need all the input that we can get.
Yes,
so
right.
why not have no other than Chef Zae back on the show to kind of help us out? Because I feel a little salty right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had lost the other night. So, Chef Zae, welcome to the show, baby. Welcome back.
Baby?
How you doing?
I appreciate y'all for having me back. How you feeling? You know, I had to come match my boy one time.
Twinsies. I'm
Yes,
feeling
sir.
twinsies. Y'all look good in that brown.
I'm doing it on purpose because I'm trying to
keep
show,
the morale.
even via a loss, like I'm still going to support these dogs. Underneath is black because I'm still in mourning. This is Tuesday. Usually Tuesdays is a day off across the NFL. So I get to still mourn a little bit before Wednesday, and then we got to work on the next opponent with the Raiders.
Right.
But I'm just trying to, it's a kind of a show of solidarity.
Yeah.
And Chef Zae, I know you was at the game. You were sitting amongst the fans. You got the heartbeat of the fans. But it's kind of off right now. Can you explain to me your perception of this game and how everyone is taking this loss?
Everyone's panicked right now, and I don't know why we're so panicked. Is it week 15 or is it week 3? Because I just don't understand when the game ended before the first half of the season is even over, or the first quarter of the season is even over. We ain't even 4 weeks into this, and you already got people ready to jump ship. I just think that, you know, the expectation that we had coming into this year, and obviously Deshaun Watson hasn't done what all of these other quarterbacks are going out and doing. I mean, you watched the game yesterday. You see Josh Allen have one of the greatest performances you've ever seen.
Right.
Then you turn on the other side and you see Jaden Daniels do the exact same thing. You sitting here and you feel a little sour. But I just think they need to relax a little bit. There's a lot of problems, but the one thing I'll tell you I'm not worried about is our defense.
Right. Okay. So we talked about the problems. Let's talk about those problems. Let's dive in a little deeper. It's a lot of hate on Deshaun right now. We know what happened week 1. Felt like even week 1, the team wasn't ready. Not just Deshaun. I feel like the team kind of came out flat. We did better in week 2 because we got the W, but there were still some things that needed to clean up. Week 3 came around yesterday or Sunday, and we felt like, what's the problem? The main problem. A lot of the fans are saying Deshaun Watson. Are they right and justified in saying Deshaun Watson is our biggest problem? What you think?
I mean, of course, there's some merit to that. We can't sit here and be oblivious that, I mean, he's our quarterback. You're paying him $230 million. He needs to be going out there and performing as such, which he hasn't. But you say there's always been some kind of problem. I ask this question. Hasn't that always been the sense with Kevin Stefanski as our coordinator? We've gone through quarterback after quarterback. Baker Mayfield's been through here. We've had Jacoby Brissett come through here. We've had P.J. Walker. We've had DTR. We've had an abundance of quarterbacks. The only one that made it look and fly was the lightning in a bottle with Joe Flacco. If you go back and look at this offense, there has always been that, man, what's wrong with this? And then you had the same take with the defense, and then you got rid of Joe Woods and you brought in Jim Schwartz. And next thing you know, you go from worst to best. And yet, on the offensive side of the ball, you bring in a new offensive line coach. You bring in linemen. You bring in receivers. You bring in running backs. You bring in quarterback. Whatever the case may be, but the common denominator is the guy running the operation. And yet, here we are, and we're still sitting asking the same questions. What is wrong with our offense? And then, obviously, we go to Deshaun Watson. So, yeah, you can't sit here and say that Deshaun Watson is not the problem, but I think there's some more problems to go along with it.
Right, and we tend to, we talk about the offensive line. And, Ryan, we all have this notion. We know Deshaun Watson is getting sacked a lot. He's getting hit. And, what I'm saying to you is Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time Coach of the Year recipient. People still calling for him to give up the plays. You said it yourself. It's week 3. I mean, we don't have an identity. I don't feel as though it's simply coaching and it's just that. It's just it. Just like week 1, I feel like there's a lot of blame, not just blame, but there are a lot of issues, more than just one person that deserves it. It's enough problems. I'll say it like this. There's enough problems with our team right now to go around almost evenly. Yes, I don't want to just say, and even after listening to you, after talking to Ryan a little bit off camera, I see that because Deshaun is our quarterback, it's a huge part when our quarterback isn't playing up to the level, and you can't negate the price tag, to get him. And
so you think he's not playing up to his level because of the coaching, or is just something going on with him personally?
Think of the price tag. We can't. Yeah. And we'll talk. We'll have some fan interaction, via tweets.
Got it.
Off of X. We can't negate the price tag. And talking to Ryan early, it was some missed passes. It was some reads. But for me, Chef Zae, I think that the offensive line is playing right now so bad that it's causing Deshaun to be shell-shocked and very unsure when dropping back, not knowing if he's going to get hit or if the blitz is going to be picked up. And defenses are smelling blood in the water, so they're coming. For me, the biggest problem right now for our team is our offensive line. And yes, it could be because of the injuries. It could be because we lost our coach from last year, Callahan. But I think it's the offensive line. What do you think?
I mean, I definitely think that's, it always starts in the trenches. If you don't got good trenches, you're not going to be able to see all these things. There was a clip going around with all these passes with Joe Flacco. And, every one of them clips, he's got a clean pocket. Not many times and if he isn't, he's scrambling and he has an ability to make a good throw. And Deshaun has made those throws. But see, here's the thing. You can never highlight any good Deshaun Watson does because the bar is set so high for him. They want him to go out and throw for the 350, this and that. But if we take a step back and take our, Browns goggles off of it, there is micro. And it's corny because you're putting $230 million in micro into the same question. Right. You don't want micro adjustments, but there's micro steps moving forward. There are certain things that Deshaun Watson has gotten better at from week to week. And if you can't sit here and look at that and that's where I get the disconnect in the argument where it's like, I don't even want to talk about it because has it been great? No, but there has been steps forward. And right now that's all we can live with, the steps forward.
Right. Speaking of steps forward, how do you think, Chef Zae, the rest of the season is going to play out? Like, do you think the Browns are going to bounce back?
Under the Kevin Stefanski era, they have always responded to adversity. That's the one thing. And, I came up with a theory yesterday, and I talked about this on the live stream. I think Kevin Stefanski's at his best when there's chaos. If you go back into history and everything that's gone around, when things have always started to hit the fan, he's found ways to galvanize these groups.
Did you just say Stefanski's toxic? So, he's toxic.
No.
Like a little toxic. That's what, if you say that about a man, like he's a little toxic. I like a little toxic. Some people like toxic.
He thrives in chaos.
A little toxic.
But that comes with the stigma that comes with that is everyone says is he always wants to be the smartest guy in the room. Okay. Well, the smartest guy in the room wants to be able to control this mess. And if everything, I used it as this example, is like you got your open book test, you've got all these notes written down, but when it comes to the test is completely different than the notes that you have. And when you correlate that to the field, it's like Stefanski, he's got a scripted plays, but we haven't seen major adjustments. The test isn't matching up with the notes on his sheet that he's calling for. So now let me come back and regalvanize and get the information. And then next week, now that there's chaos, I know how to control this.
Wow.
We will bounce back. We always bounce back. How many times have we? I don't think 2 times we maybe lost back-to-back games. We've never lost 3 games in a row with Stefanski. He knows how to bounce back. So until I see otherwise, we bouncing back.
That's an interesting take, and I'll throw it over to Ryan. But that's an interesting take because we've had a lot of chaos here, Ryan. And when you look at us last season and the year before, just the years that Coach Kevin Stefanski has won Coach of the Year, it's been mostly because of the chaos. Losing Nick Chubb, losing Deshaun Watson, still having these seasons where we go to the playoffs, taking us to the playoffs with Baker Mayfield, chaos, still having this turmoil, and yet we still bounce back from it.
Yeah, to me, the issue, it doesn't lie with, well, actually, I won't say that. This is a whole, everybody gets a piece of the blame pie, right? And I'm not going to lie. The offensive line was putrid, and you were dealing with an unfathomable amount of injuries. You had all 5 of your starting linemen play a different position, right? You're going to have Batonio playing tackle. You're going to have Nick Harris, an undersized center in there. It is not ideal for any quarterback. And I've seen Deshaun Watson make good throws. Like, I understand he's talented. That's not the issue here. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. Every quarterback's talented. I see Andy Dalton making great throws. I see Derek Carr making great throws. I see Bryce Young make some good throws. That's not the issue. For me, the issue with Deshaun Watson right now is his level of processing and reading a defense. It's entirely too slow. I don't think you can even make that argument. He's missing checkdowns, which is a big issue. And I feel like he's not giving what the defense is giving him. I feel like, to me, he's trying to almost play a brand of, the football that those fans want, they expect out of a $230 million quarterback. And that's not what we need right now, right? I just think he's not giving what they're giving him. Like you see on that 4th and 1 call, right? You see he's not hitting, he's processing way too late. Receivers are at the top of their routes, and he's not getting the ball out. And don't get me wrong, DeJuan Jones has looked horrible. Jed Wills looks lost. And then you have an aging Bitonio. You have a now injured Wyatt Teller. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle, and I think you have the right guy in Stefanski. I don't think you can even question him for what he's done to this point. It's just there's stuff about Deshaun right now that worries me that shouldn't be a problem for a guy who's almost 30 and has been in the league for almost, 6-7 years, despite all the time that he's had to take off for football.
Maria.
Josh, let me ask you this question real quick, though.
Go ahead.
Because you play receiver. How hard is it when a defense already knows what you're going to do? You're a receiver, and if your team, they ran the ball 6 times for 8 yards in the first half. How harder is your job when the defense is like, oh, they not running the ball. We about to sit up in here. And then you got Dexter Lawrence, one of the best fronts in the league. You're putting your guys behind the 8 ball before you even have an opportunity to go out there and do anything. Like, they came out of that touchdown, 1 play, 24 yards. They get a 3 and out the next drive. The very next drive, they go 5 plays, 11 yards. They ran the ball 1 time. One time. And then guess what? He gets sacked, pass, 3 and out punt. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and even when we were down by 14, I still saw the opportunity for us to come back and get into this football game and potentially win it.
Yep.
And
at
then
the credit of the defense.
And then it happened. Then we fumbled. Like going into score in their territory, we fumbled. And that can be devastating for an offense. And you said how difficult it is for a receiver playing against somebody that know what you're going to do. It's like being in training camp, playing against your own team for months at a time, and they seen all your moves, and it's hard to score and move the ball on a team that's seen and already know what you're going to do. That's why it's more important for us to have more of a balanced offense, and it's impossible when you're playing down, when you're playing from behind, to try to run the ball after you can't. After you can't score a touchdown, after you're down 14, after you're trying to get back in, it's impossible to try to establish a run game after you didn't do so in the beginning of the game. And I saw your summary at halftime, and for me, especially after the game, I kind of went numb, because even as Browns fans, as a player, we've been here before. I mean, we have been here before. Numb, feeling like when P.J. Walker had to start, when DTR lost last year, get to Baltimore, and it was like, where do we go from here? We've been here before as Browns fans, and you said it, Chef Zae. I kind of want us to, to recognize this and know, man, we've been here before. Relax a little bit. It's okay. Our 2-time Coach of the Year recipient is going to figure out a way, and I agree with you on that. We're in chaos. Now let's see him go to work. Let's see him go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chef Zae, I don't want to keep you too long, man. I appreciate you coming, man.
We know we love you coming through.
Every time you come, you give us a new insight. I like how you said Coach Stefanski, he thrives in that chaos, and he started to come through in that chaos.
Yeah.
That's going to stick with me, man. So I appreciate you coming.
They want to hear, our viewers want to hear or follow you and hear more what you got to say. Let them know where they can find you at.
Chef Zae on all platforms. Chef Zae 23, Crockpot CLE. We down at the Muni Lot every home game. So Josh, you're gonna have to pull up one of these times.
Absolutely.
You know
pull up, Josh.
We can do a live show together. Maybe try some. We can go around, try some food. There'll be a lot of good spreads out there.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys for having me on as always. I'm anytime. Shoot me an invite. I'm here.
All right, we will. Thanks, Chef Zae. And look, you guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the return. Now, Josh, let's get to those comments. I know the fans are talking.
Yeah, so I put out a poll. Biggest problem for Browns fans. And I put it out on X, and for me, it's a problem because Deshaun Watson was one, offensive line, coaching, and then something else. 45%, and over 6,000 people weighed in. Mm-hmm. These are some non-Browns fans. 45% said Deshaun Watson. I think it's a little much based off of his salary. 41% offensive line. Coaching 10%, something else 3%. So overwhelmingly, it's coaching. I mean, it's offensive line and Deshaun Watson.
Right.
So getting to some of those comments, and for me, I agree with some of these comments. It said, I was at the game. I actually spoke with you while you were on the sideline. What's up with you? On the sideline, getting warmed up for flag football game. But the fact that anyone who watched the game will vote for anything but offensive line is wild. That's their clear that's the clear number one problem, offensive line. All right, moving on. And that was from Jake Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Jake.
The next comment, slaying slaves. Slaying slaves. Uh-huh. He said, need a everything that I can click. Meaning everything went wrong with the Browns. Not just what was listed. Everything was wrong. The whole product. I don't know what happened. We kept pretty much everyone from last year on the defense, and we look 10 times worse. Watson looks rough, but the O-line looks bad. Defense gets gassed because we can't stay off the field. Drop passes, fumbling handoffs, missing reads, beating ourselves with penalties. We look so lost out there. Scott Roberts, I agree. It needs an everything and everyone button. This is a team loss. When the O-line is bad, the QB is bad. Then the defense is gassed, and wide receivers can't catch or get separation, so the blame can be everyone. That's crazy, because I agree. It's one of those another team losses, but Deshaun Watson's price tag, and Ryan, you talked about this, it's
always taken into consideration.
You have to, and we expect more. Chef Zae even talked about it. We expect more from him. Let's read one more. Big jump, rhyme different. All right, coaching. Losing Callahan hurt us the most. It's a glaring weakness that every team we play is going to exploit. Coaching. So you heard the fans are speaking. You know, a lot of people are saying it's just Deshaun, but an overwhelmingly amount said offensive line.
What were your thoughts, Josh? Because you were out there. How was you feeling when they were yelling? Because we were there at the game. We want Jameis.
Right.
How is Deshaun Watson supposed to focus and stay locked in for this team, knowing that the fans out there say
he's a pro?
You got to block all that noise out.
They did it for every quarterback. They did it when Charlie Fry was the quarterback before he became the quarterback, and it was Trent Dilfer. They was yelling, Charlie, or we want Fry. Every quarterback here at the Browns, whoever played for the Browns, gets either booed off or they calling for the backup.
So telling Deshaun Watson don't take it personal?
Yeah, he can't. He's a pro. You can't. You told me not to take it personal.
I would have punted that ball so high up in the stands and walked off.
But then what happened when they did that? We were in the suite.
And then he did something exceptional like two plays later. And they was like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
He scrambled and made a first down. And you expect great plays out of him. And I think it's the price tag. Certain mistakes he cannot happen. He cannot have. And we expect so much more because of who he is, who we know him to be. And overwhelmingly, the price tag. People just cannot get rid of the price tag.
Right. I think some of the ways they were yelling were out of his control. It's not his fault he's getting eaten up by the O-line's not protecting him.
Right.
Josh and Ryan, real quick, any update on Myles Garrett? Because I know he went out limping. He came back in, but he was still limping the rest of the game.
On him?
Yeah, well, Kevin Stefanski says he's day-to-day, which who knows what that means with Kevin Stefanski. But the MRI, I believe, came back negative. That's always good. But listen, when you're dealing with your 2 feet, right? I mean, you're a D end. You're launching off him every play, and he's, 260, right? Whatever he is. I mean, that's a lot of weight. And you can ill afford any more injuries, especially to your best player. So fingers crossed, because if you lose Myles, it's going to be a long season.
Yes.
Yep. All right. And with that being said, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Now, you know it's spooky season, right? Halloween is right around the corner. Yes. And what better way to celebrate than to go to a good old haunted house? So Josh and I went to Bloodview and Broadview Heights. Check this out.
Man, don't be shy. When you go first, you the man. You was a lead. You the man. Lead.
I'm Josh Cribbs.
10-5 touchdown!
3-time NFL Pro Bowler. If something touch me, I'm gonna have to fall over you. All-decade return specialist.
I mean, yeah, I used to get scared at haunted houses when I was in high school. Let's go back. Let's go out. Let's leave.
We can't.
Let's turn around.
No.
We can't turn around.
I'm a football player. I was born as a gladiator.
What do I look like running around a haunted house getting scared? Right foot, left foot. Right foot, left. I hear something.
Do I get scared? Who they think they talking to, man? Of course I don't get scared.
You really ain't gonna see me out of character too much. I'm really cool. I don't know my hair.
Stop, that's me.
My hair in my mouth. Calm. Here's something. I can't look. Collective.
Get up, we gotta keep going. Get up.
What was that? I passed out. You gotta laugh like that, Josh. Why you gotta laugh?
You up! You're not done.
What? Oh my gosh, ornaments. Okay, I think we good. Oh my God. No, I don't know your family. I don't know your family. Don't leave me. That was just a scare or something.
Yeah. It was scared. It ain't nothing. Don't leave now. Where you going, man?
Come on, Josh.
Go.
You go.
You go.
You go.
If you want a spider kill or as a monster underneath the bed, then come get me.
Josh. It's too much open space. Anything can go down. You gotta be careful, stuff pop out of there.
Yeah, you about to headbutt me. You gotta watch, cause I'm too close to you. Don't headbutt me now, you.
Okay, hold on.
I see you in the front.
I gather myself. John, you're too old to be acting like this. That done birth kids. If that's scary. Haunted house? Come on.
Have some dignity now.
Have some dignity. You know
Have some dignity.
You know how we do, baby.
Yeah, we good.
You know how we do, baby.
We good. How you go? Go ahead.
There you go.
It's the end.
This the end?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Shoot. Is that somebody?
Somebody behind us.
Oh my God.
Gotta move at a steady pace.
I feel like I'm being trapped in the corner.
Are we going the right way?
No, I don't think so. I think they. Oh, what's that?
Eyeball.
What's that?
Alright, we good.
Gosh, you are a grown. You're a grown man. You shouldn't be jumping like this. No, I don't taste good. I don't taste good.
She tastes good. She tastes good.
You gotta marry me. No!
I'm trying to get past you, you trouble.
Following him. They got missing people. And you're gonna be there. No, please, no.
Bloodview Haunted House, #1 ranked in the country.
Right here in Ohio.
Get here, judge it for yourself.
Okay, so a little disclaimer.
A disclaimer?
As you get older, thanks you worry about what's coming around the corner. That's
I didn't think I would be afraid at all. And it wasn't that I thought a spirit or a demon was going. It was the jump scares.
Yeah.
Like stuff I didn't expect certain walls to open up and certain things to happen and just the atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
How could you not kind of?
Real quick, can we do a Halloween show?
Yeah,
one week where we all dress up.
We
have to, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's only right.
It's only right.
Halloween costumes.
Exactly.
Going to Amazon right now. Right. Okay, Ryan. Good idea. Look, make sure you go out to Bloodview. Check it out. We had a great time. That's a great place to take somebody on the first date too. Look, enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you next time.
Go Dogs, man.
Go Dogs on the return.